Hello and welcome to our 2024 to 2026 Annual Catalogue launch. We're here today to do some presentations and you're joining me, Sandra Roberts, here in the UK. Today I'm going to show you a lovely little cute card that can be used equally as a full-size card or a note card and envelope. So let me get you down onto the table. So here in my paper trimmer I have a whole sheet of cardstock. Whether you're in imperial or centimetres, is going to be half a sheet. So we're going to score down at half. My metric one here is at 10.5 centimetres. And I'm going to turn it the other way and cut it the other way in half, which again for the metric is 14.85. Cut through the centre. That gives me 2 whole cards with no wastage. Okay, we'll discard one of those for now. I'll take my bone folder and score this with the ridge side inwards. So we get a nice crisp fold there. Okay, and that one's prepped ready. I'm also going to show you how we can create this using exactly the same details, but with a basic white note card and envelope. They can be found on page 17 in the new annual catalogue. So here's, I've had one out of the packet already for you. So that's the 2 sizes of card. This is a whole sheet of our 12-inch by 12-inch painted lavender designer series paper. I have cut this across here at 4.5 inches and then cut that strip downwards at 3 inches. So we have 4 pieces of paper. I've then cut another strip at 4.5 inches and again repeated at 3 inches, giving us another 4 pieces. And then along the bottom here, just off the camera, this 3-inch piece that's left is this width, and so I've cut that at 4.5 and 4.5. Okay, the designer series paper can be found on page 107 of the annual catalogue. So that is 10 pieces of designer series paper from one layout. Okay, I'll just leave that there so you can take a screenshot if you wish. And we have 1 3-inch square piece left over. That's not wasted either. That can be used on another card. So I'm going to use one of these sheets today to show you how I made my cards. So straight away, I'm going to have there's 2 portrait and 8 landscape. So I'm just going to do, in fact, I could do one of each of those. So take 2 pieces. I'm going to have one in the center of that one. And then this one we will turn and show you how the note card can be done landscape. I'm going to put this one aside and continue with the full-size card. And I'll come back and show you exactly how the note card can look as well at the end. So I've pre-cut a piece of cardstock that is 1/4 inch bigger. If you want a smaller margin, you can have it 1/8 inch bigger. But for the time being, this measures 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. The reason I've cut it in inches is because it's easier to cut the 12-inch piece of card into inches rather than centimetres. So here's my panel that I'm going to stick onto my card here, and it fits really nicely in the centre. And then, as I said, it fits equally as nicely onto a note card with that matte layer. Just get a smaller border. For the rest of my card, I'm actually going to be using a sentiment, and I'm going to be using the Heartfelt Hexagon Punch, which is on page 96 in the catalogue. And I'm going to take the centre out of this piece of cardstock. So I'm going to take this punch, and just so I can see both borders, and there's a good enough border at the bottom, take one of those out, turn it round and do the same from the other side. Just gently squeezing that punch. Now this piece of cardstock is going to have this designer series paper laid over the top, but I have these 2 spare pieces here and I will be using those later. So take my Tombow, and I'm going to drizzle a tiny drop of Tombow just around the outside edge. And because there's going to be 2 big holes in there, I'm just going to put a little bit there and there just to hold it. Like so. So now making sure that this is the right way up, this will be our panel on our card here. And I'm going to put that flat onto my card. Again, very, very sparing with the Tombow. Placing that into the centre, centering it top and bottom and right and left as you wish. For my sentiment, I'm going to be using the Simply Said stamp set. Now this appears on page 19 and I think it's the very first stamp set in the catalogue. So I'm going to be using the birthday wishes and just a note today. So I have these ready mounted on my acrylic blocks. And I have my black Memento ink pad. This is a really good all-round ink pad. If you're a beginner, it's the first one you need to purchase really. And then you can add on the colours as you wish, coordinating with your cardstock. So I'm going to take my strip of card, and I've got my stamp on the block already. And I'm going to just check that that's nicely black. And I'm going to stamp this in the middle, top to bottom. So just press heavily on there and release. And I'm going to do the same with the other one. This is the just a note one. Okay, ink that up well. And because I think this is going to sit nicely that direction, I'm actually going to turn my piece of cardstock and come in from this angle. Okay, so we'll just put those away. So with my heartfelt hexagon punch, I'm just going to punch this from the center layer, nicely in the middle. And I'm half holding that just to make sure it's where I want it. And now I'm going to put both thumbs and punch that from there. And this one I'm going to do the same direction, but looking at it horizontally. And place that in the center. And punch as well. Here we have our full-size card and our note card and envelope size. This one with an 1/8 of an inch border and this one with 1/4 of an inch border. So you have two different greetings here. You can interchange the two cards as you wish. I think today I will put this one on here. So I'm going to cut these in half. Using my paper snips, I've pre-cut these in half that way. And I'm going to place some Tombow along the edges, but not quite to the edge. And I'm going to place this over the top. So using my two tweezers, I've just placed that on there with a border. And I'm going to do the same with the other side. So again, just go around the edge, not right to the edge with the Tombow, and then place this over the top in the center. Okay. So by doing the sentiment in this way, you can see how we've just given it a nice little accent there to place on our card by using the underneath layer of our coloured layer here. No extra cardstock required. So I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm going to place some of those on the reverse to raise this 3D. And you can pop this over the edge like so, or in the center. I quite like that down low. Just there, in the bottom third. Remove those. Now, for the decoration here, I have my bow punch, which is on page 77 of the catalogue. I'm going to take a scrap of our shaded spruce cardstock. And I'm just going to punch a couple of these here. One there, and then turn it around and do yin and yang the other way. It's got a couple of blooms there. And then I'm going to take a scrap of our gorgeous grape cardstock. And then with our Petal Park punch, it's on page 123 of the annual catalogue, I'm going to punch out a couple of little flowers just in the corner here, like so. And because I like things in threes, I'm just going to punch that little one again. Okay. So we have 3 little flowers and 2 sprigs. Now I'm going to take each one of these, place them in the center of my hand with my knuckle and just shape them slightly. And the same with the 2 little ones. Like so. So they're my little flowers, and we can group these just round here wherever we fancy. We're going to put a gem in the center of those, but I want to use some of the greenery as well. So I just lay these on here to see how I like the look. I'm just going to trim this in half and just put a tiny little branch coming that way. So attach that down with my Tombow again, just a little bit on the branches. Put that across the corner. And then this one to come this way along the bottom of the card. Put that down. Just across the bottom. There. Okay, so my large flower I'm going to put in the centre to cover the join, so that one can go there. Just adding a little bit of Tombow on the back there. Pressing that in the centre. And a trick I like to use is using another Tombow with the lid. Just hold that in the centre and just press it down. Move that into the centre. Just hold it for a little while until that sets. Okay, that's that. And then the same with a little cluster down here. Using the rounded edge of the Tombow just to hold that in place. It's up to you how many flowers you want to put on there. Whether we need another one. I don't think actually we do. We might have another one up there. And that can be just off the edge of the card. Hold it in place with the Tombow. So to finish off my card, I'm using the purple fine shimmer gems. And I'm just going to take some of these to place in the centre. So I'm going to place one of the large ones in the centre. And then one of the smaller ones in each of the smaller petals. Okay. There we go. And there is my finished card. Okay, really quick and simple, and making the designer series paper go a long way, and with not too many materials. We do love our punches, and the punches are the most easiest way for a beginner to start and then build up their supplies. So the punches are really good addition to your crafting supplies. So I hope you've liked my card today, and I hope that you will join us again and see all the other presentations highlighting different tools and different products and different cards. Thanks again for joining us, and see you again soon. Bye for now.